Welcome, everyone, to the next Pokemon podcast of Silver Screen Recordings.
It's Silver Screen Conference.
We're already off to a great start.
What's up, everybody? It's time for a new episode of Silver Screen Conference. I'm your host, Digimon11. With me today are my good buddies, as always, Jova Hexion.
Yes, I realize now that there must be at least 10 other people with the name Digimon for you to be 11.
No.
Ignore him.
Pedro. And everyone's favorite, Shira.
Hi.
I wonder why she's his favorite.
Guess she's the
I'm not touching that one.
Yeah, probably could.
Anyway, back to professionalism. This is Mewtwo Returns. Technically the fourth Pokemon movie, though not always counted as Pokemon 4 because there's apparently an actual Pokemon Forever.
Well, that's the thing. In Japan, this wasn't even a movie at all. It was just a 3-part TV miniseries of sorts.
No,
that's the thing.
Oh, that's the Legend of Thunder.
No, that's the thing, Dej. I looked it up. In the Japanese version of this thing aired in 3 20-minute odd bits. Actually, I looked.
Right.
Yeah,
so wait, we
movie.
forgot to mention what it's called in Japan. Pocket Monsters, Mewtwo, I Am Here, Mewtwo Saga.
Yeah, basically.
That's a mouthful.
Remember that I always watch both versions of the movies, and yeah, if you go back and check the Japanese version, it's 3 episodes. It was 4 because I had the idea of mushing them together. Because in Japan they're just 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose that explains the name, the Mewtwo Saga. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of awkwardness involving Mewtwo, but okay. As a kid, I actually watched this movie more than I did the original Mewtwo movie. I guess a part of me just always felt that this is a better conclusion to the Mewtwo stuff than the first movie let step off on, for obvious reasons. So,
yeah, it's a better ending, I'll give it that.
Definitely.
So, Jova.
Yes.
We need you to summarize this plot.
Alright then. So, the movie starts off with a little bit of flashback footage from the first movie. Except now Mewtwo is voiced by the ever-lovely and vocally superior Dan Green. Like, I'll be honest, I probably remember Mewtwo's voice better from him in that regard. Not to say the original was bad, but Dan Green's is just more iconic.
I don't think I've mentioned this in the podcast before, but the reason why they got Dan Green instead of, who was the other guy that voiced him?
Philip Barley.
Is because they thought he was dead. Everyone did, because he went on another name, and no one had no way of contacting him.
I guess to you...
go on.
Sorry. I guess to you maybe, Joe, but to most of us who just grew up watching mostly the first movie over this one, it's just Philip Barley. At least to me, it's just like, don't get me wrong, I love Dan Green as much as the next guy, but Philip Barley did such a fantastic job channeling the sophisticated nuance that a character like Mewtwo is supposed to have, whereas Dan Green just sounds like Dan Green. I'm sorry.
We'll agree to disagree, but either way, though, what's weird is that I guess for consistency, they also replaced voiceovers from where the original voice actor spoke with Dan Green now.
Yeah,
such as how Mewtwo reflects on the fact that he erased everyone's memories, except for Giovanni, aka the worst person he could have left alive with those memories intact. Now, granted, as far as he knows, Giovanni is probably dead. That said, Mewtwo did not exactly do a good job making sure he was dead. I'm sure that won't come back to bite him. So, anyway, to the present, where it turns out it comes back to bite him, as Giovanni has found out where Mewtwo is. In record time, I might add. Now somewhere in the Johto region. That's right, Mewtwo was pretty clever here. He didn't just hide again in the Kanto region, no. He went ahead to the Johto region ahead of anyone. They'd never look for him there until they discovered that. Incidentally, by the way, I've heard that the Pokemon Masters app game actually is fixing a lot of these plot holes, so that's nice. But, yeah, so anyway, Giovanni and a mysterious figure next to him have apparently found the locations of Mewtwo, which is apparently on top of this mountainous cliff in the middle of the Johto region, which is apparently the highest mountain ever, and it's practically uninhabitable for humans. Spoilers! Humans actually don't have too hard a time being up there. Ooh.
They do have to be escorted up there, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but by another humans, technically. But regardless. So anyway, we cut to, who else? Ash and company. But we don't actually start with a Pokemon battle for once. Instead, it's just them overlooking the area with our narrator.
This is more of a TV special, so it's not a theatrical movie, so I guess they needed to, change the formula a bit.
Yeah, true, yeah. The Pokemon battles are not as plentiful here, surprisingly enough.
That being said, Ash still tackles something in this in this thing. Even in the TV specials, he has to tackle something.
They all tackle something in this movie.
To be fair, he's not alone in that regard this time.
But
I'm still counting it though. God damn it.
We're jumping ahead a little bit though.
Yeah, way ahead. So anyway, so it turns out they're in an area where it's hard to get around because of terrain or whatnot. That's not entirely clear. And apparently there's a bus, but the catch is that it only comes about once a month. So if you aren't around for that bus, you either need to travel by river, which is filled with bug-infested Pokemon, or try and go by foot, and apparently you're a goner if you try and do that.
Remind me again why...
all the Pokemon where you can go out when you're only 10, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, remind me again, why is it a good idea to allow these 10, 11, and 12-year-olds to go on journeys on their own?
Because they can save the world, of course.
Anime.
Of course. How did I not know?
It's just how the world works, okay?
Okay.
So anyway, though, the storm begins.
Like Pedro, you're paying attention to how long have you been a fan of Pokemon? 25 years. You're just now asking this.
Actually, I've always been asking this. It's just that these questions never get answered, so I have to keep asking them.
It's all a collective coma.
No, we're not.
Moving on.
We're not doing that.
So anyway, it turns out that they're in an area where the weather can get pretty bad, and by that I mean, freaking typhoons, which can just pop out of nowhere. So anyway, it starts to rain, and our heroes rush through it. However, it turns out Team Rocket is here, and here's one of the things about these movies. Team Rocket arguably has some of the most to do in a movie that they've, ever had to do in any of these movies in this one. But their contributions start with them getting, of course, blown out to possibly die along with the umbrella here and there. But it's okay because Brock comes up with the most brilliant inventions ever. Yep. He converts a frying pan into a drying pan.
Fun fact, in the Japanese version, here's what he says. It says, it's okay, I can use my frying pan as an umbrella. And then he says, nope, doesn't work. So I will actually give. So if you ever thought that the pun was lame, well, the joke in the Japanese version is actually even lamer. So we actually got a better joke in this regard, actually.
Well, honestly, at least it's nice to know where Frisk got the idea of using a pan from. His father told him.
True.
Sure, I gets what I'm talking about.
Also, I thought it came from Tangled, but anyway.
Sure. This was way before Tangled. Brock was the frying pan master.
Yes.
In a Pokemon world, we'll get a frying pan Keyblade. But anyway, they try to make it to the bus, but they tumble, and they just happen to miss it. What bad luck. Thankfully, a woman in glasses named Luca, I think it was.
She's Sailor Mercury. No, I'm not kidding. In the Japanese version, she's played by Sailor Mercury's voice actress.
She doesn't look too dissimilar from an aged-up version of Sailor Mercury.
No, that's the thing. Her character is completely inconsequential anyway, so
Well, not entirely. Well, granted, I guess to be fair, it's more so Callan who does the whole research thing, but...
Yeah. She's mostly just here, really.
Anyway, so yeah, she takes them back to her lodge and shows them that there's this amazing water that grows here, and everybody but Ash likes it, to which Ash is mocked and derided for not liking it.
Yes, because Ash never likes anything that the others like for some reason in this anime. I don't get that.
Meanwhile, the bus
Because he's not a free thinker.
Oh.
No, Deds. It's as they put it, he apparently has no taste. So anyway, the bus tries to go, but then a typhoon starts to literally pull it up in there. But it's okay because they're saved by Mewtwo of all people. He sets the bus back down, and the bus riders proclaim that it must be a miracle.
Oh, can I quote this bit here?
Sure, go on.
You ask. I'll try my best Angry impression. You ask me why I save these humans. I saved them because if the bus was destroyed, there would be search parties, and we might be discovered. What? You say it was for another reason? No, I could never feel compassion for a human.
It's not like I like you or anything.
Well, seriously, that was just Mewtwo is Mewtwo is both a moaner, a agonizer, and also a tsundere in this movie.
So what? He shadowed a hedgehog?
I actually have something to say about Mewtwo's next monologue. But go ahead, carry on.
But yeah, that is a thing about Mewtwo in this movie. He is surprisingly more brooding. As you recall, in Mewtwo Strikes Back, he proclaimed that they were going to just go off and do their own thing. They sort of did, but now he's brooding about how, as clones, they don't have a right to this or that. Even though some of the other clone Pokemon point out that they pretty much see the moon the way they do. And yes, how people look at the moon is going to be a running theme in this movie. Remember that for later. But
in the 4Kids version, but I'll get to that.
The world the same as well. Oh, is it different than the Japanese version, Pedro?
Sure. Just tell me when Mewtwo's talking about the moon. Just tell me when we get there.
Well, technically he talks about it in the opening monologue. We just skipped over it for time and whatnot, so...
Oh, okay. Sure, I guess I'll bring it up. That's like the one other thing about the Japanese version that I want to bring up, and that's it. Basically, the Mewtwo's dialogue in the Japanese version is a bit different. Whereas the 4Kids version focuses a bit more on the,
how they see the Earth and the moon.
Yeah. On the whole about how we're too different and blah 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 blah, and we'll never fit in and blah 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 blah. That whole aspect. Instead, the Japanese script instead focuses exclusively on Mewtwo's responsibilities as a leader, meaning yes, they would love to be out into the world like every other Pokemon, but they can't because they know that if they get discovered, they'll be captured and experimented upon because they're clones and scientists would have there's a lot of scientific interest in them.
That is also a thing brought up in the dub as well, but it shares the spotlight along with the whole they feel they don't belong thing.
Yeah. In the Japanese version, there's no lack of belonging. It's purely focused on that particular angle, and I actually prefer it that way personally. I actually think that's a better dilemma for them to have rather than just go for the generic racism thing.
So, anyway, back to the main plot. So, they try to leave by river, Misty insisting that she won't let her inherent fear of bug Pokemon scare her before it inevitably does, and she single-handedly paddles them all the way, so... kind of the main reason that the plot ends up going is because of Misty's fear of bugs. Way to go, girl.
Honestly, she could have just rowed in the direction they were already going in if she was rowing that fast.
Yep, we need a joke.
The power of fear just propelled her in the opposite direction. Yes, Dad?
I said we needed a joke.
Yeah.
So, anyway, with that idea out of the way, the only other way is to try and climb the mountain, as Brock suggests. But Glasses Girl says, that's probably a bad idea.
Well, sure, look at the bright side. At least Misty in here is not being incredibly mean and bitchy to Caterpie. Fuck, I hate episode 3. Go on. Sorry, I just need to get that out of my system. Go on.
So, anyway, then a scientist guy called Callan comes about, and it turns out he's a famous researcher. think that's pretty much all there is to his character.
Basically, yeah.
But he comes with this girl called Domino, who doesn't act suspicious in the
Fun
slightest.
fact, she's voiced by Sailor Moon in Japanese.
Yeah, in the Japanese version, she's played by the voice actress of Uzagi. Yes.
So apparently, this movie was a Sailor Moon reunion.
Yes.
In the Japanese
A little
version,
bit, yeah.
yes, yeah.
I guess she has the corner marketed on blonde girls who wield
And
weird
not-
weapons.
Not just that, not just that. This fucking woman has fucking superhuman feats that she pulls all the time in this fucking special. But go on.
So anyway, yeah, Team Rocket then show up at the cabin because it turns out the umbrella saved them from being wiped out on a limb, essentially. And I'll admit, we do get some pretty funny interactions with Team Rocket. And oh my god, they actually fought ahead for this one. Like, seriously though, instead of just resorting to a Pokemon battle, they latch up Pikachu in a bout of electric nullifying cables. Like, I don't even have a joke. That's actually pretty smart. They even brought actual rockets to use on their air balloon. And funnily enough, when Callan tries to warn them not to go because of the bad weather, Jessie, in one of her romantic moments, thinks that he's caring for her, so she goes into this romance mantra, which I'll admit is actually legit funny. And meanwhile, Domino is talking about how she's never heard of these guys and how they're embarrassing. Not suspicious at all from Domino. Not
Her accent
suspicious
totally
at
doesn't
all.
drop at random points either.
Yeah, she had a Valley Girl accent when she first introduced, and I was like, it just drops.
I guess, to be fair, maybe they didn't intend for it to be a surprise because she literally looks like the girl that was with Giovanni in the
No. It's not a twist for us, the audience. It's a twist for the characters.
Yeah, I get that. I just wonder, though, I guess the idea was for her to confirm the location. My only wondering is why she bothered hooking up with that Callan guy, but
Because
whatever.
he's a researcher, so he could have been useful.
True, and she apparently did work at the Pokemon Institute and whatnot, but regardless, so after Team Rocket escaped with Pikachu, Ash and company follow up the mountain, because it turns out Glasses Girl also has a lot of climbing gear, despite her saying that it's dangerous to go up. That's handy. So anyway, they finally catch up to the balloon, which is being tossed around by the weather and whatnot. It knocks into them, they latch onto it, and so on and so forth. Domino climbs up above them, and then summons Team Rocket. Again, nothing suspicious about this girl whatsoever. I'm only saying this because they don't reveal her identity right there and then. Well, apparently that is sort of her identity. Basically, she is Agent 009.
Yeah.
Domino.
What? So she's Alan from GoldenEye.
Well, actually, that's 008, not
Yeah,
009.
009 is James Bond himself.
Sorry, no, not 008. Sorry, 006. The guy you're talking about there is 006. Sorry.
Okay.
So, was this supposed to be a reference? Were they planning to have her be
Jova,
a
did you say that James
Jova,
Bond is
it's simple.
009?
It's much more simple
Yeah.
than what you're thinking,
He's
Jova.
007!
It's much more simple than what you're thinking of, Jova. Like, Four Kids was just being cheeky and nodding 007. That's all it is.
I guess that's nice. Her codename's Domino. She goes on about how her true identity is a mystery. Did we ever see this character again after this movie?
No.
Nope. Remember, Jova, what happens in one, well, in this case, special, stays in that one special.
Well, that's the thing, though, because let's not forget, guys, this special is a sequel to the movie. So, continuity?
Man, Team Rocket members just come and go. Who cares? The only ones that matter are Giovanni, Jesse, and James, and maybe sometimes Butch and Cassidy. Oh, and that one girl who was in the beginning, at the end of Diamond and Pearl. Because she's been
What about
recently.
the duo in What about the duo in Pokemon Heroes? They were cute.
Oh yeah, okay. There's something I need to tell you, but I'll tell you once we get to it.
They're dead, aren't they?
No, they're not Team Rocket members. That was just 4 kids translating that.
Well, damn. Anyway, back to the plot. So, yeah, the Team Rocket combat unit, as it's called, shows up. And then Domino, in a bout of just, I guess, being a dick, pops the balloons of her comrades. Because she found them embarrassing?
No, that's the thing. She basically says she doesn't want to be associated with lowly rockets that are embarrassing because they're basically the clown. I'm still convinced that the only reason Giovanni keeps them around is so that the others can have a laugh at their expense. To be honest,
no. The only reason why he keeps them around is because I don't think
they're persistent.
Later seasons, it's more like. So whenever there's another evil organization involved, they somehow are involved with their demise. So that's why he keeps them around.
Yeah, so much to the point where when they caused Hunter J to, I kid you not, die, like, no, she's legit dead, he actually gave them the ultimate promotion, and they became kind of awesome, actually.
But people in Japan hated it, and their voice actors hated it too, so they had to revert. Cowards.
Well, I'd say they sort of found a good middle ground with the Gen 7 anime where they did get wins, but they still could lose as well.
Yeah. Because the whole, Giovanni was just wanted to get rid of them from the get-go, but I feel like it was a damned if he does, damned if he doesn't.
As of now, I think he has begrudgingly admitted that they're probably his most capable agents as of this point. Oh, the irony.
Yeah.
Because, man, back at this point, he does not give a damn about them. Basically, Domino sends everyone hurtling down to the lake. She uses her glider, which is handily on her backpack. Impossible, somebody. Gets back to the helicopter, and they are split up. Team Rocket end up crash landing on the island with the clone Pokemon. To which then Pikachu gets free. 10 guesses as to what happens. No, wait, sorry, you're done. He shocks them, because of course he does. But his clone shows up, and is not too happy to see Pikachu.
For the record, Jova, according to Pokemon Puzzle League, this clone's name is actually Clone 1. I know that's the most generic name ever, but remember that's what he's named in Pokemon Puzzle League. So I guess that's his name.
You
Clone
can't call
1.
him Wanachu or Pika 1.
Well, sure.
Oh, Pikachuno? Pikachuno? No. Gotcha.
So anyway, yeah, the clone Pikachu tries to attack Pikachu because I guess he hates him now. Well, okay, it's because he thinks that they're responsible for bringing all these humans there. But Mewtwo, who is determined to not have each other fight because, well, even he points out, my dudes, we literally had this lesson in the first one. Let's not do this again. Stop.
Yeah, that's basically what happens, actually. Yeah, that's basically what happens. Mewtwo kind of scolds him by saying, look, you gain nothing by beating... Which you'd think Clone 1 would have already learned this lesson by this point, but I guess not.
I guess Mewtwo erased his memories as well.
To be fair, Clone 1 was always kind of a hardhead. That said, I do feel like the biggest purpose of this special movie was made to address a lot of the complaints people had about the first movie. Because, man, this one feels like an answer to it. Especially with Mewtwo pointing out, in hindsight, how he should have handled things differently. But that's later. So, anyway, essentially, a lot of the clone Pokemon want to either fight or make a fighting stand and stay. So, and Team Rocket also get locked up. Yeah, it turns out the clone Pokemon have a jail cell on their island for some reason.
Yeah, why did Mewtwo build a jail again?
I guess it was for timeout in case somebody was acting out of turn.
Shut up, that's why.
So, yeah.
humans, I guess?
Wow, I guess he really did think ahead because Team Rocket get locked up there. Meowth, not so much, because he can be handy for humans.
Oh, yeah, it was Mewtwo who made that jail cell. It's like, why?
Okay, I guess this is the guy...
It could not have been the humans because they only started doing construction when they arrived.
Yeah, it was like, that's so random.
Yeah, well, to be fair, this is the same Pokemon that in the first movie built that circular rotating thingy just so that when he comes down from the ceiling, we can have shadows all over him to make the entrance look cooler.
Mewtwo's a fan of the theatrics.
Clearly.
Pretty much. So, yeah, essentially they get locked up. Some of the clone Pokemon leave to go find other land or something like that. Mewtwo has another monologue about how he wonders if he should make them stay or if he should let them leave. Later stuff again, you know. Oh, also, Meowth mentions how the moon looks similar to how Clone Meowth thinks it does. Again, going back to that point about how the originals and clones can see the world the same way.
Well, yeah, that's a direct reference to what they were talking about in the first movie, where they looked at the moon and like, oh, you're right, we have the same sky, the same air, the same whatever it was. So, yeah, Meowth and Clone Meowth are the only ones who seem to really have it together, really, when it comes to this matter.
Meanwhile, Ash and company wash up on the shore of the mountain away from the island. So Ash uses his Bulbasaur, who he still just couldn't goddamn evolve.
Marketability.
And his Pokemon who has a
No, seriously. Like, if you ever wonder why his Pokemon don't evolve, it's because of marketing.
Until eventually they did evolve, because even the anime decided, okay, that's enough, goddammit.
No, his Bulbasaur never evolved.
Yeah, but his other Pokemon did.
Yeah. I mean. Some do, but most of the time, if they don't evolve, it's mostly due to marketing. That's why Oshawott never evolved.
Which is something that I find very weird, because Venusaur can be just as marketable, you morons. Just try harder.
Sorry, it's not Charizard, so it doesn't matter.
Anyway, speaking of Pokemon that did evolve, he also has Chikorita, who had a crush on him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Well, we'll get some more on that when we do for Heroes.
Oh, God. No.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because we're Pokemon heroes.
Alright, you know what? I'm done. Goodbye. You guys can you guys finish just without me.
Hey! Come back here, young man. Come back.
The captain always goes down with the ship. Isn't that what they say?
Yes.
Fine.
So anyway, after Shiroi's lovely contribution there...
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. The two plant Pokemon then make a boat out of a log that they can use to sail to the island. Yeah, I guess if there is one issue I do have with this movie, maybe it's due to the lack of Pokemon battling, but it does feel like stuff just happens, and they deal with it as so.
Yes.
It's an island getting attacked by the leader of flipping Team Rocket. I feel... Okay, you know what?
There's not much tension with this.
Okay. Now, as a kid, I liked coming back to this movie a lot, but looking back on it, I can kind of see why people might have preferred the first movie over this. Okay, let me put it like this. This is definitely... know where
exactly this is going.
This is definitely a better story than that of Mewtwo Strikes Back. But it doesn't have as much good action as that movie had. And I would argue that good action is something that can be important to a Pokemon movie. Even Pokemon 2000, remember that.
I think it's more so one of my issue with that is that it's not so much that, like, this movie overall feels like an epilogue to the first movie. Like, when the first movie had an overall, because of its runtime and full length, it had a more overall fleshed out arc to it, even if there were a lot of flaws in the execution, like we've discussed. But this movie, on the other hand, feels like it was... this special feels like it was made specifically to address the problems. Like, it feels like an extension. Like, and it doesn't feel like its own thing. It feels like in order to properly enjoy this, you have to have, at the very least, seen the first one to understand what this movie's trying to do, basically.
Come to think of it, I wonder, maybe we're looking at it the wrong way? Like, maybe we should see it as just the 3 episodes it originally was?
I have, and I can tell you that doesn't make much difference, not really. It's like, it's just, okay, let me put it this way, Jova. Get the English dub version and pause every 20 minutes for like a minute or so. That's basically, trust me, there's not that much difference from watching it in both ways. Not really.
I mean, it was sold to us as like a full quote-unquote movie, so... You could probably look at it either way.
Yeah, I watched all 3 episodes. There's not really any difference. There's not even any censorship or cuts in this one, surprisingly. So.
I guess. I mean, and again, it's not like this thing is terrible, and I get it. It's
no.
It's not to the same lengths as a movie, which does make me wonder how I should go about grading.
Let me put it this way, Jova. This feels like an expansion DLC to the first movie. That's how it feels like.
That epilogue DLC that should have been a main game. Isn't that right? Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1.
Come to think of it, yeah, I do wonder how cool would a supercut remake of this and Mewtwo Strikes Back be if they merged the events of Mewtwo Strikes Back with then a second section of the movie that goes into this epilogue here, which also
that's funny you say that. It doesn't happen.
Did they do that?
No.
Oh.
That's the thing, Jova. All it would take was for an extra scene in Mewtwo Strikes Back where Mewtwo appears right next to Giovanni and erases his memory, and this movie would immediately have no reason to exist anymore.
To be fair, even Mewtwo admits that not erasing Giovanni's memory was his bad. But
totally. I agree.
Maybe it was on purpose, because there was probably enough time between him escaping from Giovanni in the first place and the end of the first movie that he probably thought it wasn't necessary to go back that far. Maybe he thought that they weren't looking for him.
I wonder.
But yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So anyway, Ash and company arrived to the island, but Pikachu and company have left and shown up at, I think, the shore that Ash and company were at. We're absolutely American tailing this, I see.
Yes. I have never watched that movie, so I don't get the reference.
Let's just say American Tail.
Deji, you saw I Showed You Land Before Time. That movie is even more of an emotional roller coaster than Land Before Time, because let's just say the protagonist has to go through a lot of crap to get his happy ending.
And the thing is that he gets so close each time and he doesn't even know it.
Remember, it's that old Don Blue philosophy. Kids can handle anything as long as we have an happy ending.
Oh boy. Anyway, but yeah, so Ash and company show up, and here's where things go into a bit of a logistical nightmare. They come across Nidoqueen and Rhyhorn babies.
It's Nidoqueen. Yes. Let's talk about the most cursed thing about this entire special.
Yes.
That's not how it works. Nidoqueen does not have... Well, okay, Nidoqueen can have babies, but they aren't Nidoqueens.
Okay, you know what would have been better? If they just said, these were clones.
But they're not. That's the problem.
I know. That would have just made a lot of like, okay, yes, they're freaks, abominations because they're clones. I would have been like, you know what? Fair.
The special tries to establish that these are special Pokemon that were born in this spring paradise thingy. But so I'm sorry.
Wouldn't that goes against. That there must have been inbreeding along the clones then.
Not just that. No, a Nidoqueen cannot be a baby. That doesn't work. That's
Pokemon, I'm pretty sure the makers here are well affiliated with the Pokemon franchise.
That's the thing, Jova. This has always been my problem with the Pokemon anime in general. The fact that they get so many things wrong sometimes. It's like this.
Early on, most of the things have been better now.
Oh no, yes. I'm aware that it's gotten better over the years, but remember, these early years were the ones I grew up on. Yeah. So. They should have gotten that shit right from the beginning.
It's how was that? How do you miss that?
It's like you get your Bruce babies.
It's like, oh damn! I'm trying to make a Dragon Ball comparison. I can't think of one that won't get us all angry.
So anyway, after the abominations. Because that's no other way to put it. After we see those cute little abominations, it turns out Ash and company then get captured. Well, okay. I'm skipping ahead a bit because meanwhile, Pikachu and company get attacked by Giovanni, who has super-powered Pokeballs that can capture the clones. And wait a minute. This is like that bit from the Mewtwo Strikes Back movie where Mewtwo had his own super Pokeballs that could capture anything.
He stole Team Rocket technology.
Ah, doth I hear about of world building, perhaps within the pages of this script?
No.
Doubt it.
So anyway, yeah, Giovanni pretty much wrecks their crap, but Mewtwo shows up to save them. Only for it to turn out that other Team Rocket guys will come. Also, Giovanni is very, very, very determined to get Mewtwo, so much that he smashes not only a glass of alcohol, but also a radio transceiver in his hands. Like, Jesus, dude. I know you want this Pokemon, but chill out, Giovanni. And go talk to your son Ash. I think he could use the father talk.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, basically Giovanni makes a ploy here. Meanwhile, 009 is capturing Ash and company and the other Pokemon on the island. Mewtwo shows up. Then Giovanni busts out these two robots. Pretty much has Mewtwo submit to him. Otherwise, their friends will be the ones to pay the price. And by friends, we mean specifically the two Pikachus, because those are the ones Domino chooses to attack in front of Mewtwo, even though she points out that she knows one of them is actually a trainer, so I guess she assumed Mewtwo made nice with the non-clones as well. Regardless, Mewtwo does give himself up to the two machines, where essentially his will have to give out before his body does. Like, to the point where even Giovanni is worried that it might destroy him. Domino's like, well, you can't destroy him. It won't be so easy to clone him. And he's like, I know! And again gets so angry that he crushes the receiver. And Domino says for it to not take it out on her while she's put Jesse and James to work. Because it turns out, yeah, Giovanni decides to renovate the island and turn it into a base.
Oh, gee whiz, Jova. Mewtwo is stuck on that force field prison thing. What can we possibly do to save him?
Wait, hold on. We'll get to that. For now, we need to cover another plot point that's been going about here. See, it turns out that the spring here is essentially rejuvenation water. No, I mean, it will pretty much instantly cure any injuries you have because it's been untouched by nature, which means that it's so pure that it can instantly heal. That's right, if us dirty humans weren't polluting stuff, our water would be so good that it would be able to heal us from anything.
Yes, I too have read the Pokemon manga. How'd you know?
So that's a thing in the manga.
So, sort of. The reverse, actually. But
the manga adapted that. How nice. Anyway, so yeah, you'd think Team Rocket would have studied the area, found that water was there, and renovated it to make a fortune off of it. But what do? They start polluting the water because of the renovations. Like, I get renovations can be that, but they instantly have to start funneling out oil there? Dumbasses. In fact, it's doing that causes the cavalry to come. The cavalry being bug Pokemon who kind of end up saving the day because, yeah, the humans are polluting their water, so they're going to deal with them. This in turn causes for Beedrills to attack Giovanni and for Butterfree to make Team Rocket members fall asleep to the point where just dropping one Firebreaker causes multiple explosions. Meanwhile, Domino nearly gets cleaned by some ciphers, but it's okay, she's able to think on her feet. Until the floor that she forced Jesse and James to clean turns out to be so clean that she ends up slipping and then ends up with her head in a bucket. Oops. Karma. Guess she mistreated them and all that. Again, surprisingly, Team Rocket have some of the most to do in this movie, which I guess makes sense, seeing as how it is Team Rocket attacking the island. So anyway, the bug Pokemon's attack causes an explosion that also busts Ash and company out of the jail cell that the Team Rocket members put them in after they let Jesse and James out of. And so they go to free Mewtwo. And it comes here where the first point to do is to tackle and knock over the red robot who's electrified.
And multiple characters.
Alright, and that makes it 4 4. There you go.
Out of 4, guys.
Out of 4 movies, we have 4 tackles. Man, a flawless record so far.
To be
I
fair,
hope those keep being a thing.
To be fair, at least the Pikachus and Meowths tried as well, so at least there was a Pokemon doing tackle. See, Giovanni's... Yes. See, Giovanni...
And yes, like Deji mentioned when we watched it, this time it actually works. Well, yeah, if you keep throwing shit at the wall, eventually some of it will stick.
Yeah, look, DC figured that out.
Carry on, Joe.
So, yeah, anyway, stuff is solved by that. Giovanni's ploy was to essentially use machines, which Mewtwo can't affect as much. Thankfully, though, the Pikachu shock the red robot while Mewtwo uses his powers on the blue one to blow it up. So they destroy the robots, but Mewtwo says that he may have also have destroyed himself. And by that we mean he gives out. So Ash figures, why don't we take him to the spring to heal him? But Giovanni is like, yeah, not so fast. It'll be my job to decide that Pokemon's fate. Luckily, Brock and Misty are able to halt an entire force of Team Rocket members with 6 of their Pokemon.
Wow, I can't believe that Misty did something useful.
Team Rocket's kind of shit, huh?
Granted, they do have the help of all the other clone Pokemon who hold off Giovanni and whatnot. So Ash takes Mewtwo up the stairs towards the spring and has a little nice chat with Mewtwo, who kind of is like, dude, why are you helping me out like this? And Ash is like, well, because good, and all stuff like that.
Well, okay, they do that thing. They do the same thing that Final Fantasy IX and Sonic Unleashed do, which is the whole "do I need a reason to help somebody?" Which again is a good lesson. It's just that I'm going to explain when I get to my overall thoughts. Go on.
So anyway,
and now we're here to the best part.
Yep.
Yes. The part where Ash brings Mewtwo out and yeets him into the pond.
And now you know why Mewtwo shielded himself in the first movie. He used Future Sight and saw him getting yeeted. He's like, nope.
You'd think Ash would very delicately place this dying Pokemon into the water. No, it just throws him in. Cause
it's not even just that, Shiroi. The scientist guy goes, no, Ash, you can't do that. He might infect the water. What do you mean he might infect the water? What about the other Pokemon? The other Pokemon are probably dirty too. Why? What makes Mewtwo so dirty by comparison?
The same reason why humans keep ruining the environment, but it's okay for animals too.
Of course.
Totally. It's not like animals can ruin the environments themselves.
It's like Swade mentioned in his review. It just comes across as just conflict and for the sake of conflict. Like, it's just weird.
Now I can even in 2 seconds anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Ash has some pretty good arm strength because he tosses Mewtwo almost a good portion into that.
That dude is not human. We've established this.
Yes, with how he ages backwards. So
actually, to be fair, no one ages.
No. Ash literally aged backwards as of the Sun and Moon anime.
But go on.
Anyway, so Mewtwo starts to have flashbacks to Mew, of all people. Because Mew swam around in ponds.
Yeah, it's because the idea is that because the water does the same thing to him that it does to other Pokemon, that means... so maybe that means I'm allowed to live as other Pokemon. Again, this is why the movie doesn't really do a good job in making this feel like earned, because this entire thing about Mewtwo feeling like he doesn't deserve to live among other Pokemon, it just feels weird, because that shouldn't have really been I really wish they would have kept his actual proper dilemma from the Japanese version. That made a lot more sense. But go on.
So anyway, Giovanni shows up and starts blasting everything. Again, dumbass, you could be making a fortune off of that water, but he's willing to destroy that thing just to get Mewtwo. Mewtwo happily obliges by showing up and supposedly just killing everyone with a giant laser blast. Except no, he just moved the pond and everything to being underneath the mountain, while leaving Giovanni, the rest of Team Rocket, and Cowan and Sailor Mercury out there. Yeah, I don't get it. He takes Ash, Team Rocket and company, but leaves behind the 2 researchers who were on their side. Okay. So anyway, Mewtwo
By the way,
like...
I have a question.
Yes.
I know we've gone through, because I forgot to ask earlier. Why is all of those other characters being arrested in the jail a problem? Can't we just, use our Onyx to break the bars or something?
Shut up, Tia.
To be fair, they were squeezed into a point where trying to summon Onyx would have threatened to have crushed them before he broke the bars.
Well, okay, there's plenty of Pokemon that we have. I'm sure we can find one that can break these bars.
Wasn't there a Gyarados in there?
No, well, that would fail for the same reason as the Onyx Hero. But I'm pretty confident there's at least one Pokemon in there that.
Don't worry about it.
But I thought the Gyarados was already out. That's why I mentioned it.
No, I don't. Was it?
Don't worry about it.
I don't think he was already out, but
pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Go on.
There will be no plot if they use common sense.
Speaking of common sense, Mewtwo plans to once again erase everyone's memories.
But everyone says, no, that's stupid.
To the point where Meowth has to pretty much translate it to Mewtwo for them as well.
Yeah,
that's Meowth's only role in this movie.
Yeah, that's what I meant. This movie just feels like it was made as a result of feedback from the first movie.
And you know what? Kudos to them for it. I do feel like the story is better told here, and it is a nice conclusion. But I do see what Pedro means in that it does feel like a glorified epilogue as opposed to its own thing. Yeah,
because that's the thing. Like, if you watch this on its own, it doesn't really stand on its own as a story because, this is so clearly a follow-up to what happens in the first movie. So you really need to watch the first movie first before you can properly grasp because if you watch this on its own with the knowledge of the first movie, you're just going to be like, wait, what?
To be fair, I feel like the opening does technically tell you all you need to know enough here and there. And honestly, the first movie can just be summed up as evil clone, drag people, clone Pokemon. They fought, Ash sacrificed himself, he came back from the dead, and then Mewtwo wiped their memories, which is pretty much what's summed up in the opening thing.
Sure, I guess.
I would say you can watch this on its own. I just feel like the experience isn't as fun on its own. And mind you, a part of me does still like this better than Strikes Back, if only because, again, the ending doesn't leave me banging my head against the wall with how stupid it is. No, the ending is legit heartwarming and does show some actual growth, with Mewtwo specifically saying only...
there.
See? It was right there!
Hey, Gyarados, you could just, headbutt the bars, maybe?
There's even a Blastoise and a Charizard!
I guess I guess
well, there it is.
Just isn't strong enough against the bars, as saying.
What are those bars made of?
Yeah, that's the narrative we're going with. Move on.
Wait. That Gyarados looks way smaller than he was beforehand. For him to be fitting in there like that.
Again,
that jail cell, I swear it changed sizes multiple times throughout the movie.
Yeah, this was still... Well, actually, no, that's actually... No, I'm going to have to disagree. No, this isn't even one of those cases where the color... Okay, this was digitally inked. Like Swade said in his review, this was one of the first times where the Pokemon anime started being digitally painted rather than painted by hand. So fair, they could have fixed it, actually, in post.
Well, okay, to be fair, Pedro, that's digital painting. Not so much the entire program was digital. Now, in something like Alpha and Omega, everything was digitally computed, so they had complete control over it. Here, the actual stuff drawn was not necessarily done digitally. It was only the coloring and whatnot. There's only so much stuff you can change with the coloring. You can't necessarily change an inbred accident there.
Sure.
Regardless, though, Mewtwo relents and says, "You can remember, and if you ever hear my voice, I will be there to see you again."
Oh yeah, and I erased Giovanni's memories. Bye.
And yet he chooses.
Man, it's it'd be a real shame if Giovanni didn't store any of his memories of Mewtwo, any information on Mewtwo on his hard drive or on the cloud. That would suck.
To be fair, this is before the likes of cloud technology was a thing.
But don't you see, Deji? Mewtwo's psychic powers also formatted all of Giovanni's hard drives.
That's bullshit.
Honestly, it would.
He doesn't remember it, so he wasn't able to put the memories in the hard drive in the first place.
I get it, Deji. I get it. Here's a better one. Mewtwo also erased from Giovanni's memory his password, meaning he can access computers now.
Okay.
What's the password? Mewtwo. And that's why he can't do it, because he doesn't know what Mewtwo is.
Okay.
Genius.
Again, guys, here's the thing, though. Back when this movie was made, and thus we can assume in-universe, stuff like cloud technology didn't exist yet, so...
Yeah.
Wait, so did he erase his memory of Mewtwo, or just that he found him?
He erased his memory of Mewtwo, although Giovanni has the sneaking suspicion that he's just been utterly defeated. Which, you know what this means now, guys? The Team Rocket trio officially have intel over Geo-freaking-Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know what? To give Team Rocket credit for as vile as they may have gotten, they never, ever broke their promise to Mewtwo. Yep. It's actually a genuinely heartwarming ending. Heck, Mewtwo even makes Ash and Company a Pikachu air balloon.
That they never use ever again.
Again, Deji, what happens here stays in here.
Except not really, because, you know, the other movie, which kind of pissed people off.
Don't worry, we're going to get to a point where the movies start connecting with each other.
Well, sure. we're technically kind of at that point, since this is connected with Strikes Again anyway.
Oh,
right. Again, guys, remember, this is technically a sequel to the first movie.
Oh, I was talking about, like, it be like a second when we watch a movie and then the sequel immediately follows up on it. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess.
But yeah.
So anyway, though, heartwarming ending, and it turns out that Mewtwo's letting the clones go off and do their own thing.
Wait, he is?
Yes. Well, basically, what he says. Remember, what part of the lesson that he learns here, and this is actually one of the things that fortunately remain from the Japanese version, is that he realizes that part of being a leader is that he also has to understand his subordinate wishes. Meaning, if the clones want to leave this place, they are allowed to. Basically. But he also has that thing, like, for example, remember that monologue that he has where where does my responsibility as leader end? Like, at the same, yes, I don't want to go against their wishes, but at the same time, I'm afraid that if they allow them to leave, they'll be in danger. So what is the right thing to do here? That's one of the few conversations one of the few monologues of Mewtwo that Forky did not change, and it works really well. I really wish could have focused on that entirely. Go on.
So, yeah, that's essentially the movie. We end with Mewtwo overlooking the city that Ash and Company are in.
So I guess it's time for our segment, the Tracy Sketchum Award, which is your least favorite character. Pedro, you go.
My least favorite character... Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Deji. One thing that Joe forgot. One thing you forgot, Jova.
Oh, wait, that's right. Yeah, Callan and Sailor Mercury are apparently now a couple.
Oh,
right. Now,
yeah. Because something that's more interesting.
I'm not kidding.
Okay, so I have to wonder, is this a result of Mewtwo's memory powers on them? Because, yeah, again, they got caught up in the memory mojo thing, so...
Oh, no, they still remember.
Are we sure? They never mentioned remembering this and that.
It's Giovanni.
It's not something.
Team Rocket.
No, it's easy. It's very easy to explain, Jova. They threw that in for the hell of it, without any build-up or any reason for them to even get together. They just get together because there's literally no reason for them to be a thing at the end, because it's literally a complete afterthought.
It was the water, Pedro. The water made them do this.
It literally happens in the span of, like, what, the last minute of the movie? Like, seriously, it's the most afterthought of afterthoughts.
Well, again, do they remember though? Because again, for all we know, okay, look, we saw the stuff sprinkling down on all of them. Like, maybe they understood that they had to forget for the safety or whatnot. I don't know.
Not really, because they still had the water, and they were making more, and they were planning on making more of it.
Yeah, but can they now?
Apparently.
Apparently.
They took a vial of it.
That's what they said.
Water was because of Mewtwo's psychic powers.
Whatever. This ending is kind of a mess. Move on.
Well, so, again. For all its problems, I do slightly still like this better than the first movie. It does feel like it's better put together, animation aside. But like I mentioned, it has its issues. But yeah, like Dad said, the Tracy Sketchum Awards. Your least favorite character, Pedro.
My least favorite character, I guess, would be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with. Okay, can I pick the director as one of my just for allowing Nido Queen, baby Nido Queen to be a thing?
No, he's not a character, Fraser. That's cheating.
Fine. I guess I'll go with. That's a good question. Actually, I guess I'll go with the scientist, the guy, just for his stupid, pointless bias against Mewtwo having a bath. Because I can't really think of anybody worse, really. Like this movie doesn't really have any characters that really piss me off, really.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Jova, you go.
My least favorite character in this movie. It's kind of hard to pick because for all the problems, there's not really particularly bad characters in this movie, honestly. But no. I guess I'll just go with Sailor Mercury Girl, if only because she has the least amount of stuff to do in this movie.
But she got herself a boyfriend. That's something.
Yes. Yeah. And I hope for them the best in their lives. I mean, she's still better than Tracy, but that's not saying much.
Yeah. Sure.
That's because Tracy doesn't do anything. Alright, since I do agree with Jover in that there isn't really anybody I straight up dislike, I'm gonna go for the easy route and pick Giovanni because villain and he sucks.
Okay, Dads, that leaves you.
Also, that was a waste of alcohol, so anyway.
Wait, what? You're drinking? Oh, right. When he
No. Yeah. When he smashes the drink. Yeah. No, I'm not drinking.
You're not gonna like the prosecutor, British attorney,
specifically because it's like, I have a plan. We're just gonna be friendly with them. And it's like, yeah, that plan kind of goes nowhere. At that point, it just felt like a waste of time. It's like they don't even bother attempting their plan.
But Deji, we have to stretch this into 3 episodes for the miniseries somehow.
Whatever. Alright, let's go to the favorite
best character.
Let me see. Domino. Only because of her weapon. That we completely overlooked. Her
roses.
Yes.
How the hell does this black... I think it's a tulip, actually. Isn't it a tulip?
Yeah. It's a Tuxedo Mask reference.
Yeah, basically.
It is.
That's the thing. Tuxedo Mask's rose, but that's the thing, Shiroi. Tuxedo Mask's rose never worked as Goku's magic stick, though. Like this thing fucking grows in size.
Exactly. That's what makes it great. It can do anything.
Okay, you know, Dead does have a point, though. Domino's able to pretty much Pokemon battle just using her tulips. Like, she doesn't even use Pokemon. She's able to neutralize them with her freaking flowers.
And she's like besides Giovanni, so far, she's the only Team Rocket member that's actually a threat.
Shame about how she gets defeated by Jesse and James, of all people.
Yeah. She slipped. Her weakness is water.
Don't you see, though? It's like they say. It's as slippery as she is. Also, she was looking a little pale.
Alright, who wants to go next?
Shiroi.
I'm guessing I'm gonna go with Domino too, probably.
I thought we could only... I thought we had to pick a different one.
Right.
In that case, since Deji did pick the most interesting character, I guess.
I know, right?
I'm gonna say Ash, just because of the scene where he was like, "Fuck you, Mewtwo's going in the water,"
Yeah, like Ash is...
Forget your science nonsense. He's dying. Like,
yeah, Ash is very proactive in this movie.
And that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Alright, who's next?
I'll go next. Screw it! I'll say Giovanni, if only because he is so cartoonishly evil in this thing that it is downright entertaining. And I just love that line. I have the sneaking suspicion that I have been utterly defeated. After losing his memory.
Well, Bakura, I mean Giovanni. Like,
God, it is Bakura.
No, this is literally Yami Yugi versus Bakura.
You know what the hilarious thing is? In Japan, Ash's voice actress is Bakura.
Well, there you go then.
Huh.
Wow. So it's Bakura versus Bakura.
I guess, sure.
I mean, Bakura did always have the inner mental battle thing going on anyway.
Yeah. Alright, now that we're done,
Wait. We haven't done Pedro's.
Alright.
Pedro hasn't done his yet.
Also, Did, you need to think up a name for the Best Character Awards thing.
Okay. Then we'll call it the Mewtwo Awards.
Yeah, if I have to go with the English dub, I guess I would just pick
Mewtwo himself?
If this was the Japanese version, then definitely. But no, if I have to go with the English dub, then I guess I would. I know. I will go with Mewtwo as well for the in general. I guess because Mewtwo is of course the one with the character arc. But I do prefer his arc in the Japanese version. It's better written overall. But yeah, no, overall, yeah, Mewtwo is my favorite as well. Not as well, but like, I mean.
Alright.
That's it. Go, carry on.
Now, worst scene.
Oh, that's easy.
Go on, Pedro, since you're...
The scene where we find out this fucking abominable baby Nidoqueen that needs to be fucking destroyed. Like seriously, kill this thing with fire because this thing is
asked to be born that way, Pedro.
This thing is
we're putting them out of their misery.
Exactly, we're putting it out of its misery. Sure. If I let this thing grow, do you know how bully this thing is going to be? How fucking horrible it's not worth it. I might as well kill it now while it's still happy.
Do what you want.
But yeah, worst scene because god damn it, the filmmakers, couldn't you at the very least play the games before you make these?
That's the
Jesus.
thing. You would think that they would have known. And look, Pokemon was an incredibly popular franchise, so it would be hard to find somebody who didn't know how this works.
Yeah.
Joe, you go next.
Least favorite scene. Well, Pedro took the obvious one.
Well, Deji took the obvious best character as well, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. It is a shame we never saw Domino again after this. Seriously, I don't even get why.
Don't worry. When I no, I'm not saying it. I'll say it off screen.
All right, carry on, Joe.
Oh god, you got Shiroi an avatar of Domino, didn't you?
Fuck! I mean, go on.
So
you already picked my character for that one anyway.
He probably got you a second one with it.
No.
Anyway, least favorite scene.
So for copyright reasons, I can't play the Jeopardy theme song.
I guess that dumb scene where the scientists are like, no, Mewtwo can't have baths. Because that's stupid. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, I'd say that, but it's over and done so quickly, and at least it gives a bout for Ash to just say no in his face.
I guess.
Like, that's a thing. Like, again, for all the problems I have with this movie, it's not really like it has a lot of concentrated bad in it. At worst, it's just, it happens, but it
except
feels
for the Nidoqueen, but yeah, aside from that, no.
Again, yeah, you kind of took up that scene, so I'm really trying to think. Like, okay, I can do this, Rink. I guess the scene where Mewtwo is like, where Mewtwo says to the clone Meowth, well, even though we look at the moon the same way, we can't look at the Earth the same way. I'm like, really? Really, dude?
All I have to say about that is, what in God's name are you blathering about?
You really like Shadow the Hedgehog, even right down to being a science experiment.
and you know, Shiroi, a theory is that Gerald Robotnik got the idea for Shadow by looking at the murals from Sonic 3 and Knuckles on like an expedition to Angel Island or something, which means that in a way Shadow was based off of Sonic.
Yep.
Huh.
So in that case, Shadow would really be Sonic's Mewtwo. But yeah, that's my least favorite.
So that's why the death battle makes sense, because they literally have the same backstory.
Yes.
Alright, is that it, Jova?
Yeah.
Alright, Shiroi.
I guess I'll say the prison scene, just because there were so many Pokemon you had that could have gotten you out of there in a second. Heck, you only needed one of them to do it, but you needed the plot, I guess.
The bars! They're too effective! They're covered in a material that is immune to all Pokemon attacks.
Yes, of course.
Apparently some animals don't like tinfoil, so you know what? They wrap them all in tinfoil.
Alright
it's
then.
It's stupid. Deji?
Well, sure, took my pick. I don't know. It's kind of like a tie between the everyone drinking water scene or Misty being afraid of bugs.
Well, isn't that a thing consistent with her character anyway?
Yeah.
They need to come up with something else.
Okay, fine. The water scene. Drinking water.
Because they all gang up on Ash for not liking it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't know. I really don't care.
Alright.
Now it's time for the best scene. I'm going. Ash yeets Mewtwo into the water.
I'm not surprised you chose that.
Shira, you're next.
It's everyone having a tackle.
I was going to pick that one.
Not just one. They all do it.
Yep.
Well,
go ahead, Jova.
I'm going to be the odd man out then. I'm going to go with Jessie's funny romance mantra where she thinks that Count is actually in love with her.
Scene. I was thinking about that crap.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, like, I legit laughed out loud there. Like I said, Team Rocket gets some of their best material in this movie, so kudos there. And okay then.
All right.
That leaves you, Pedro.
Well, as you know, I'm a story character type kind of guy, so I'm gonna have to pick the scene where Mewtwo is pondering about what it means to be a ponderous leader. Like, does he leave? Does he allow them to leave because he should allow them to follow their own path? But at the same time, he's so completely convinced that if he does this, they'll put himself in danger. But so basically this conflict that I wish the movie would focus on more and fully flesh out better is basically the best scene in the movie for me because it basically shows exactly what this movie could have been, basically.
To be fair, wait, are you referring English dub wise?
No, that's the thing, Jova. Even though the Japanese version does have more dialogue about this matter, the movie itself doesn't really explore this topic to a satisfying level. It just has Mewtwo constantly moan about, oh, what am I to do? What can I do to be a good leader? And blah, blah, blah. Like, he whines about it a lot, but the movie never actually provides a meaningful conversation that arrives at a solution for this. Not really. The movie just kind of throws that topic out the window so we can have the climax, and then, oh, okay, now you're not going to be forgetful. No, we don't want to forget this time. Oh, okay, then, bye. So, yeah. But that's still the best scene, though, just because it basically is I just wish the whole movie was like that scene in particular. But go on. That's it. I'm done.
Okay, then. So, shall we move on to the scoring then, Dej?
Yeah.
Final thoughts and everything, right?
Oh, okay. I'll just repeat what I've said.
No, I didn't say it was your turn yet.
Yeah, let Deji decide. Go on.
He didn't decide whose turn it was, but go on, Dej.
Shira, give us your overall thoughts on the score.
Oh boy. Okay. This was fine. It was a nice little sequel, I guess. I do agree that it would be nice as, as a DVD or Blu-ray extra or something. It definitely felt more like it with the directing and such. It definitely, you could tell that this was TV show episodes. It doesn't really feel like a movie. There were some fun moments sprinkled out, but they were, just coming and going. The ending is a lot better than that of the first movie, because Mewtwo did, I guess, the smart thing. Also, Giovanni's line is actually funny.
Which one? The one about being utterly defeated?
Yes.
Yeah. Man, I wish I could have seen more of Giovanni after this movie.
Yeah, that would have been nice. It's almost like Johto, who has the most nothing happening in the entire series.
Oh well.
Alas.
Yeah, this was fine, I guess. I'm not sure what else to say about it. Score.
Well, if it was just fine, then I guess a 5 out of 10, maybe around that area.
Maybe a bit higher.
Nah, because I gave Mewtwo Strikes Back a 7, and I don't think this is a 6 in that case. So, Okay, I guess I will rank this above the third movie. Well, no, the second movie.
You
were literally about to catch this channel on fire for a moment there.
I was about to pick someone off.
That's her plan. This was all just an inside job to destroy my channel. Okay.
Well, I'm the one to do it.
Well, sure.
Trust me, I think the SA1 playthrough is the one that's gonna kill me.
Okay, seriously though, I will rank this above the second movie, and it'll be a 5. It was just a lot, because, I'm still not gonna change my score for that movie yet, because yeah, it feels more grand, it feels more like a movie, but it's also just a fetch quest, and it's boring. So, yeah, this one gets the 5, that one stays a 4.
Okay.
Remind me, Dej, what did I rank the first movie? That was a 6 out of 10, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Well, I should just share this with all of you.
All right, that's it, I guess. Jova, your thoughts, I guess, or did you?
Sure, yeah.
There you go. It's all on Google Sheets, so.
Oh, okay. All right, go on.
Yeah, Jova.
Overall, it's a fine movie. For as many problems as I have with it, it does its job right. It continues the story from Mewtwo Strikes Back. It addresses the problems people had with Mewtwo Strikes Back. It undoes those problems people had with Mewtwo Strikes Back. I guess the only thing is, if you're expecting a big epic here like the first movie, you're gonna be disappointed. But I'm not gonna fault it for that, because at the end of the day, this is essentially a TV movie. So, in terms of being a TV movie, I'd say it does its job well, honestly. It improves the characters, gives Mewtwo a nice arc here and there. Ash gets quite a bit of good actions here and there, and Team Rocket gets some of their best material possible. So, I'm gonna rank it above Pokemon the first movie, and I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Only because it does stuff just fine, and I had enough of a good time out of it. Obviously, a 7 out of 10 on this may not be as grand as, say, a 7 out of 10 for one of the big feature-length movies, so keep that in mind.
Go on. Next.
What's wrong, dude?
Next, someone go next.
Okay. Well, for me, it's just okay. This is a miniseries. This was originally a miniseries, and they combined it into a 1 hour special, and that's what it is. Like, I understand the idea of wanting to change what happens at the end of the stupid ending of the first film. I can understand that, but at the same time, I don't know if that alone was worth making an entire miniseries, because like the potential that they do show for exploring Mewtwo's leader, Mewtwo realizing what it means to be a leader to all these clones, is not fleshed out even properly, even in the Japanese version. So it's just it just comes across as just they wanted to make something to course correct the first movie, but they didn't really have a fleshed out enough idea to justify the existence of this special beyond that, you know. And as a result, the special feels just average. Like it has good idea. It's just like with the first movie. It has good ideas. However, I will argue even the first movie at first. Okay, let me put it this way: for as flawed as the first movie is, it at the very least tried to explore its idea of violence. Of violence being bad, with the characters actually talking about this, and of course there was an actual conclusion that is arrived, and the message gets properly followed through. Whereas in this movie, they don't really go through with it. They bring up the conflict of leadership, and of course in the 4Kids version, the racism angle as well. But they don't really follow through with it. There's no conclusion to this plot line. They just bring up the issues, and then they talk about how the issues exist, and then by the time we get to the climax, those issues get thrown aside and they don't really get brought up again. There's no actual conclusion to these. Like, this feels incomplete. Like, again, it feels like the primary goal of this thing was to course correct the ending of the first movie. That's what it feels like. And I can understand the idea of doing that, but I still feel like you should have come up with something to justify the existence of this thing beyond that. Because as a story, it feels incomplete. It has good ideas, but it doesn't flesh them out. It doesn't actually go through with any of them. Not really. I mean, the new ending is nice. Don't get me wrong, but you bring up such really great character arcs ideas for Mewtwo, like the leadership angle, and you don't really go through with it. So it just feels this movie as a result, this special feels incomplete. Whatever. The point is, but at the end of the day, I guess it's fine. Definitely, it's like there's nothing inherently offensive about it in any way. So it's just a very average as a TV special / miniseries. It works out okay, so it's fine. I'll give it also a 5 because there's nothing inherently bad about it. But unfortunately, the ideas it does present, it doesn't really explore them. So, yeah, that's it for me. Dedge.
Close
I'm sorry, what was your score again?
5.
Uh-oh. You sure you don't want to change that to a 6?
Let me guess, one of your friends is a big fan of this.
No, I'm not trying to deliberately give this the same score as The Power of One. What made you fix that?
Well, you need to make up the
Okay, let me put that. Well, here's the thing.
No, go ahead.
Remind me, what score did I give to Power of One?
The same exact score.
Oh, did I? Okay, you're right. Okay, never mind then. Okay, I'll bump this up to a 6 then.
Dang.
Because at the very least,
are you sure?
At the very least, this movie has interesting ideas. It doesn't explore them, but it has interesting ideas. Power of One doesn't have a single interesting idea in its
But doesn't that make that? Well, doesn't that kind of make it worse though? As a result.
Well, I don't know. At least I got that Mewtwo scene where he actually does bring up an issue in a compelling way. So there's that. I don't know. Like maybe I at the very least like that this movie does feel like it was trying to get at something, even though it kind of chickened out at the end. But whereas Power of One is just really boring. Not to mention Misty leaves a very bad taste in my mouth in the Japanese version of that movie. So
yeah, but we got that beautiful song.
Oh no, I love that song, but I can just hear it in the CD. I don't have to watch the movie to hear that.
I mean, yeah.
I think Power of One a 6 out of 10, didn't I?
I don't even remember.
It's on Google Sheets. I gave you the link.
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, I can't access it because I need to request access.
Wait, hold up. That's weird. Oh, but yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give this a 4, and with this is officially tied with Power of 1. I am not letting that go. No. Okay, so on a serious note, Pokemon Mewtwo Returns is actually an interesting epilogue to the first movie. My only complaint, similar to Pedro, is that there's a lot of interesting ideas here. Like, you have, for the first time, Ash meeting Giovanni. You had Mewtwo coming back as the title. You actually see more of the sides of Team Rocket and see Giovanni do something.
I get the feeling that they were afraid of making a sequel to another movie. Mind you, this was back when the movies were sort of starting off. I do get the feeling that if this were made in later years, they probably would have just bit the bullet and made this its own feature-length movie that could have fully have explored all the ideas.
Yeah. But personally, I wish this was the movie that they made instead of what we're going to see next.
Pokemon Forever.
Yes. But as because I wasn't bored watching when me, Pedro, and Shira were watching it. I think I was the one that was enjoying it the most. I think.
Yeah, I can see why. Like, I mean, I legit would come back and watch this movie. Like, I watched it over and over as a kid, and I still could watch it again.
It's a nice enough watch.
Yeah. So I'll just give it a 6.
Sure.
So wow, 2 6s, a 7, and a 5. That's 24, guys.
Okay. All right.
How's that rank among the movies?
I feel like it's it's the second highest rated after 3, I think. Or maybe
I think
no, it's okay. So here's our ranking: Spell of the Unknown, number 1. Number 2, Mewtwo Strikes Back.
Okay.
Number 3, Mewtwo Returns. Number 4, Power of 1. But I just want to reiterate, Pedro, you gave Mewtwo Strikes Back a 6.
Like I said, I still think Mewtwo's character arc in that movie is fairly effective, even if flawed.
Yeah. So yeah, we consider. Yeah,
I'm sorry, but I find Power of 1 to be a bore. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's why I give it a 4, because it's a bore.
Like, honestly, I'll say, look, I'm not even that hard on Power 1, and even I will take the likes of Mewtwo Returns over it.
Yeah, I'll take Mewtwo Returns as well.
Will anything dethrone the power of... No. Will anything dethrone... the Power of 1, and will anything surpass Spell of the Unknown?
Oh, don't worry.
Tune in.
There's plenty. Come on.
Yeah. So here's the ending that I want Shiroi to read.
All right.
This is the most phoned in one.
Oh, goody.
Oh, okay. And let me read it first.
Doing it in a good announcer voice too.
Yeah.
Alright, this is gonna be a mess.
Yes.
Next time, our heroes are going on a time-traveling adventure that feels like it takes forever. Ha ha ha. It's going to be one hell of a wild adventure as we go to another movie featuring one of the legendary beasts that should be... Okay, I'm just half-assing this. See you next time for Pokemon Forever Celebi, the voice of the forest. Stay tuned, I guess.
This movie's gonna suck.
This is gonna suck so bad.
But you know what? It's going to suck so marvelously.
And guess and
it won't.
unlike with the previous two movies,
Look at the bright side. The dub actually does do stuff legit.
And unlike with the but however, in the positive note, unlike with the previous 2 podcasts, I'm gonna have a lot to talk about the 2 different versions of this movie because believe it or not, it's actually worth watching the 2 versions. Believe it or not.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See you next time.
See ya.